Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video where we continue learning interesting information about dinosaurs, those fantastic animals that inhabited our planet Earth. On one hand, we have the great Giganotosaurus, which was one of the largest carnivores that ever existed. On the other hand, we actually don't have a dinosaur, but a flying reptile. Also, you already know that I really like these figures for learning, since they come with two sides on one of the edges. We can see what its skin was like, what all its physical features were like. While if we turn it around, we can see the inside of its body. More specifically, the entire composition of its skeleton, where we can see both the smallest and the largest bones. Here, it's a Pteranodon. Also, to expand the information, we are going to use several books, such as the Great Encyclopedia of Dinosaurs. Inside, we have a lot of interesting information about all of them, especially here in the Dino Data section, where it even tells us what each of their names means. And now, let's start with the first one. What do you think? Shall we take a look at the Great Giganotosaurus? As I was telling you, it was a super predator. It could weigh about 7 tons in total, and its head was impressive. The Tyrannosaurus rex was gigantic and had a mouthful of sharp teeth. As you can see, its skin was quite scaly, and in the figure we can notice different textures and colors. It was a bipedal dinosaur since it walked on its hind legs, which were very large and robust. Look at the detail of its legs. It had 3 strong claws to support the entire weight of its body. The tail also played a very important role, especially in helping it keep its balance, since its head, as I mentioned, was very heavy, and if it didn't have this long tail, it would probably fall forward. Its front legs are much smaller, and as you can see, unlike the Great Tyrannosaurus, Rex had 3 fingers on each of them. Do you know what for? It used these fingers to grab its prey and hold them still, or even to catch meat and bring it to its mouth. As you can see, I have turned the figure around so we can actually see its entire skeleton. Currently, many dinosaur skeletons have been found, which is what allows us to know everything we know today. These are actually fossil remains that have stayed buried under the ground, sedimented until today. Some of their bones were tiny, like the ones that made up the tip of their tail. What do you think? If we look for more information in the book about the fossil remains, on these pages we find very graphic information that explains to us how fossil remains are formed. First of all, we need a living being, in this case a dinosaur, to die in an area where there is water, such as the sea or a river. Afterwards, these bones are buried, their skin disappears, and only the skeleton remains. Over time, these bones are buried and are strengthened through the formation of sediments. Over time, the sediments crack and begin to erode, so when the rock breaks, they start to come to the surface. And that's what allows paleontologists to start excavating to unearth all these fossil remains that have been underground for millions of years. Well, now we know a bit more about the Great Giganotosaurus and about how fossil remains are formed. And now we're going to look at the second specimen we're focusing on in today's video. As you can see, it's a flying reptile. In fact, this reptile was one of the largest that ever existed. There were many different kinds of flying reptiles. But as you can see, this one has some very striking features, like the crest it had on the back of its head. It also had a strong, long beak that it used to eat, but also to hunt, since it hunted both with its beak and with the claws on its feet. It mainly fed on fish and marine animals. In addition, it had a small pouch under its beak, very similar to the pouch that pelicans have to store food. The most spectacular thing is its wings. Here we have them, here they are folded, but they had a wingspan of more than 2 meters, when spread. Here we can see what the bones of its legs would look like. Impressive! It also had a small tail. And to see more information about this particular flying reptile, let's use the Dinosaur Encyclopedia. We have some illustrations where we see several specimens flying, and at the bottom, it looks like a herd of triceratops. This scientific name refers to a flying reptile larger than a small airplane. Its name means feathered serpent, since, as I mentioned, its whole body was covered with feathers, and its hind legs were quite long. It also says it could reach 12 to 15 meters in length. Impressive! It truly was a giant in the sky. And now we're done. With today's video, we've learned information about this carnivorous dinosaur and about this flying reptile. If you like this video and want to learn more about other dinosaurs, you can help me by giving me a super like, a thumbs up, and I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. It's time for me to say goodbye. See you in the next video with more amazing dinosaurs. Thank you for being there, on the other side of the screen. A big kiss, Mua.